Smurf here. I know. Coming to you live, and yeah, I'm just gonna be recording this session that I'm doing with Shawn Porter from Fight Legends and Fightcoin. So we've been including this in somewhat of like a, I don't know what you're gonna call it, like a unedited money match gaming side of things. So it's just my screen in this until I figure out a better way to share it all. But I just wanted to have that's easier for me to record it and just have it on our end as well too. So been doing that. Shawn and I are going to be talking about some cryptocurrency projects, everything Web3, Metaverse, GameFi. I broke in some finance things in there because I think that's important, education to people. But yeah, just going through the gamut today. Hopefully you find something entertaining, informational, educational. I'm not a financial advisor. Neither of us are. We're not financial advisors. We're not sharing financial advice, but we are talking about the future and we think Web3 can become / is already. So look forward to that. I'm going to turn Shawn's audio up a bit here to match mine. And there we go. Actually, let me turn mine up a little bit too. We're going to both be up about right here. Cool. Yeah, I was just, I did a little live thing, so I did introduce to the people on my side, let them know.
Of course.
It's gonna be talking and chatting in a very low graphic stream, but
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Compared to our normal streams.
Yeah, of course. Full on gaming. I know. I gotcha. Visit fightlegends.io. Oh, that's fine for now.
You see my new desk? I made a new desk the other day. It's kind of sexy.
That's bad boy. Yeah.
Where is that thing? Yeah, so I updated my desk.
Oh, I did see that when I popped in right away. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Oh, it's so newsy.
Yeah, it's a nice little desk there. Like, ooh, I'm getting better at the 3D.
Nice. Oh, yeah, I could see that being a cool thing. As an intro. Well, you set up your whole camp from back there and you just stay on that scene, don't you? And you talk from there, or do you zoom in?
Oh, when I'm talking on the
I
go from the desk to like here, so I'll be like I'll be on the desk sometimes. I used to have like zoom in screens with it, and then I'll go to just my webcam, right? Close up to the desk a little bit, and then I'll go to like actual gaming setup screens, and so it's gonna show my game background or my computer background, but I'll go like different screens or whatever the heck, or just straight up with it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether to approach Seattle NFT Museum like do you want to do it, or like have it be part of a show like sponsored by Fight Legends, or just have it be like you and I like start of our production NFT production or Web3 production company, sort of thing. So it could be either way. We'll talk about that off air, I guess. All right, let me check. Do you live? Because you always there's too many opportunities out there. It's like every turn there's something else. You're like, oh shit, that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like I'd like to do gaming, and I'd like to do like music on the metal side.
Yeah.
But I would also like to do production stuff. So those are the two other things I'd like to get into somehow. So
yeah, I'm like, well, covering it all as a show is the way to go. People always need that advertising, and
it's a start.
For the artists,
it gets you in to other things.
Yeah, and then on the production side of things, it's like you just become that information hub to people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I got some fun articles listed over here today.
Nice. All right.
Fun ones. Got a few GameFi. And then you switched up last moment. We're like, oh yeah, we'll just do like a more whatever that thing. It's like,
yeah, because I'm setting up to get some guests, and thought it'd be. I was like, oh, it'll be cool to have them be able to get, choose like a topic that they're familiar with, and he was just like, well, just tell me and I'll do my homework. And I'm like, love it. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. That's how you get to be a regular guest. Just say, I'll do my homework. I'm like, all right, you're in. What was I doing? I got excited about that.
I think you're going through checks. You're in checks before? You just checked you live?
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was doing. Perfect. Thank you. Thumbnail. This is already ready. Okay. Boom, we're good. There it is. Dunzo. All right. Saved. All right, let's do this.
Do it.
Okay, I'm not ready yet. False start.
I've done that before. All right, here we go. Wait.
Oh shit! Nope. No one saw that for sure. No one saw that. Funny. All right, hold on a second. Yeah. So. Yeah, I entered to win a giveaway to the gala, which is they're covering the new what would you call it in a museum? The new
Exhibit.
Exhibit. Thank you. Is global warming and just alternative energy kind of platforms and projects. So I was like, oh yeah, let's do that. Trying to get a free ticket. I didn't, but they like offered me a half off, which isn't bad. So we'll see if Fight Legends can send me there, or I might just cop it myself.
Oh, nice.
I think they're like 160 going. But it would be cool, very cool networking, opportunity, of course. So
yeah,
that is
buy some new camera equipment.
Ooh, I know, right? Write it off. Yeah. Business write off. Yeah.
I mean, I'd already write it off, but
yeah. I'm just now getting you. I'm just now starting to learn all that stuff. This is my first year doing taxes that are heavily influenced by crypto, and my wife about pulled her hair out when she realized like all the staking and every little transaction.
I'm having a CPA do mine this year. I was like, oh, I don't want to fuck with it. I don't.
At some point, it's just worth the
that and the liability.
The time saved.
Yeah, the time saved and the liability, at least for this first year. Or I'm like, if the government had a little bit more of a handle on things and they weren't so wonky dory, but will come after you with it, I'm like, then I would feel a little bit more comfortable doing it myself. But since they aren't, I'd rather have somebody else be on the hook. I'm like, yeah, you can go after them.
Is that how that works? If you have a CPA do it,
it's like, yeah, some liability's taken off of you. It's like, yeah, well, we had these people do it, and so they told me everything was good. I gave them all the paperwork,
So yeah, okay, well, that's good to know. Yeah, we've done it ourselves, but so my wife was trying her best, but I don't know. It's
yeah. I mean, that's all they ask you to do is try your best. I'm just like, yeah, I really don't want
to. Well, she's learning now. Like I don't even know how to start getting the staking stuff and figuring all that out.
It's supposed to be taxes like normal income.
Okay.
So like,
but how do you?
Same as like of a job, but like, oh, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, so I'm dropped. Let's say SPS from Splinterlands. How do they rate how much it's worth?
Oh, like the current SPS, like it's still in there though.
Well, I'm taking it and then I'm staking it. So I'm getting airdropped it for staking, and then I'm staking it.
Oh, so you're restaking it though. I don't even know. Yeah, situations like that is where I'm like, I don't think those like count necessarily, because I know it's like supposed to be like your actual income, but that's exactly why I'm having the CPA. Where I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather talk to a tax professional during this and be like, look, a lot of this money is going back in, it's staying invested, and so how are you going to like tax me on something that pretty much it could be a loss.
Yeah, so you gotta save me.
Yeah.
Save me, bro. All right, now we're ready. Oh. Cameras are important. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Cameras are important. Everything looks good. Let's look at this one just in case.
Oh, I don't know where I put that tripod. It's over there, actually.
You good? You need a second?
Seconds.
Yeah, okay.
3 seconds.
You're good, you good. All right.
I got a second. Just, okay. Yeah, 1 second. Just, sounds horrible. Done in like 2 seconds.
Alrighty.
Okay, you can start it.
All right, hold on one moment. Anyways, see, weird. What is happening right now? Okay, everything's behaving weird this morning because of the. Ooh, that's what I should test while we wait for a second here. All right, well, we'll do it live. I'm going to do like a rough start anyway, so it'll be because I want to check some tech as we go live here. So, all right. Hello, everybody, to the now Web3 Throwdown. GameFi Throwdown is at least put it on the back burner for now as we put some things together. And for now, we're going to go Web3 Throwdown. All things Web3 will be discovered and talked about and reviewed. Of course, as always, I'm joined with my co-host here, Smurf. How you doing today, man?
Ooh, I think that's the first time you've called me co-host.
Oh, official title now. Oh, I've been holding out on you.
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. As always, glad you're here. And, today, let's start at least by talking a little bit about Web3 Throwdown. I love the idea of being ambassadors to all things Web3. We all have family and friends that are into, the Web2 traditional things as far as just gaming or wherever their interests lie. There's always Web3 alternatives that are out there, and it's from movie production to TV production, comedy stuff, music, banking, you name it. There's something out there that is a use case that blockchain technology serves, and I want to kind of focus on just covering it first on niches, right? So let's cover everything about gaming, everything about banking and finance, everything about this or what that, and then eventually it'll be like a general news program, just what's the newest stuff going on in Web3, which is basically what we were doing with the GameFi Throwdown. But of course, with the GameFi Throwdown, I want to focus more on gaming specifically. Mm-hmm. And of course, you guys pop into Fight Legends Discord, you will know that not only can you play the Fight Legends demo by purchasing the bloodyfaces.io NFT, but also right now we have a partnership with MetaOps Gaming, which is an FPS project on Solana. And right now you can get access to their game without purchase of the PFP by getting in our Discord and checking out our gamer announcement chats. I think it's like 500 spots, or we're ultimately open. I'm still sure there's plenty of room there. You can pop in there, sign up, and get going for a week there for free just to try the game out. We're going to have a game night in Discord along with MetaOps, so it's going to be a big week of events surrounding that. So if you love FPS shooters, make sure you guys check that out. Awesome. And yeah, Smurf, have you checked out MetaOps before? Do you know? Are you aware of that one?
I have not. Other than like when you notified me about it, and I was in the middle of my morning. In the mornings, I usually just read and listen to things. I do like a multitask of like things in my ear and then reading things. And I was deep down the rabbit hole on my way to Wonderland. And did not have time to pop over to the Discord because I was the first that I was hearing about it. Right. I was like, oh man, but then I was finding other little gaming things while reading, and I was like, this world.
So, yeah, exactly. Well, once you get going, and we all have like a different source that we go to in the mornings. I've noticed that it's actually expanding quite a bit. It's just that I think people are starting to niche out, right? I'm finding some good stuff that's specific to one corner of Web3. So yeah, you're always on the gaming stuff and like the banking, finance, tech side of things. So that's why you are a great co-host.
Oh,
yeah. But yeah, so I'm gonna actually pop over here to the gaming cam, just so I can show the MetaOps here for everyone to check out, especially again, join up the Fight Legends Discord. You can absolutely get there through the Twitter account. So check out my account, Shawn S. Porter, or Fight Legends at Fight Legends NFT, of course, as I'm sure all of you are already doing. And get in the Discord, check it out, and find us. I think Friday night we're going to be doing that MetaOps gaming night, so will be very cool. And then tomorrow night, if we have enough people that sign on again through Discord, emoji poll. We'll be doing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on Switch. So Smurf, I don't know if you've got that. I know you got a Switch, so maybe we got to get you in there. I don't know if you can do the 10 p.m. time slot, but the time slots will shift towards community sentiment in the future as we
Okay.
get more busy over there. So
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, I know you have a lot of East Coasters and stuff like that in Money Match Gaming, but I should might have to probe our team and see if we can get some other folks in there because everybody on the team pretty much has most people on the team have a Switch. I can't say everybody anymore because we just got our
yeah.
first Gods Unchained player specifically the other
Oh,
year.
that's true. I never even thought about it. Like your Money Match Gaming over there does a lot of Smash Brothers. So of
Mm-hmm.
course your community is going to be, have those switches ready to load up. So oh man, yeah, definitely. Let's think about that. I can 10 o'clock was usually good because I think the Australian guys are kind of getting off of work and are able to settle down and get in there. But that's not to say that a few hours earlier, just to give those East Coasters room to still get some sleep, but still hop in, that'd be kind of cool too.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely something I would consider is just doing one a little bit earlier next week, just to give everyone time to sign up and get in there. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's talk about that off air for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, what do you got going on your end? I know you mentioned doing your research every morning. So what is on your radar this morning, man?
Oh, on my radar this morning, it was a mix of things. So there were some fun things about the dip, obviously, for those
Sure.
that, well, I can't say obvious, 'cause sometimes people aren't really like in the know and pay attention to the market all the time. I pay attention to it pretty much daily, you know. But yeah, Bitcoin's on a bit of a dip lately from a high of around 46 or 45, 46,000. Wasn't able to break that $47,000 threshold. And for analyst side of things, people were looking for it to break around 52 to 54,000 to really signal a full-on bull run. So it failed on that and it's been dipping down since. The bottom that people are looking at right now is somewhere around 38, 39,000 for like the first level of support resistance. And so, if you see it like struggling around 38, 39 to like break beneath that for a few days, that's probably why. Otherwise, the next level would be around 32,000 and then possibly into the 20, like 28 or so range, which has been like a long-term bearish resistance level that didn't get reached previously. So maybe that gets reached this time. But that's what I'm looking at as far as like the Bitcoin side of things goes. Not to rumble too much about that, but like, again, it's caused to, because I put in like the banking and finance thing in our our category of topics to talk about, and
Yeah.
a large part of that was due to it's been consistent, is due to leverage traders in the market.
Okay.
And so I had like a fun thing to tie in as I was reading through different articles with leverage traders in the market, was just that it's the tumble downwards due to leverage traders. People going long on Bitcoin thinking it's going to continue to go to the upside,
Right.
and then when it goes lower and they're up above, if they're on only 2x leverage or something like that, they got a little bit more leeway. But when most people are not as wealthy in the market, myself included. So if I'm going to jump in and do some leverage trading, I'm like 10x, 20x. You want to get your money's worth because you're competing with these big whales. People that can go 1 and 2x with $1 million, and that's a lot of money. So you're trying to compete with them, but then if the market moves at all, you get liquidated, and so it creates a cascade of liquidations. And after so much money gets liquidated, continuously, it's like people are just selling often when they get liquidated. So it's like, oh, this person sold off and that person sold off, and it pushes the price down quickly, like we keep seeing. And the thing that I wanted to like mention with that, other than the fact that happens, and there was like over, what did they say, $500 million removed from the market in terms of liquidations recently.
Yeah. That.
So that's huge. But like along with that, I read another article that was talking about women entering crypto. So I wanted to kind of put those two in tandem. And it was saying over the last year, because we know a lot of people have been scared out of the market due to the liquidations and stuff like that. And those are mostly males.
Okay. Yeah,
it's mostly males in crypto anyways, but it's mostly males. And along with that, they said that it was something like women, I feel like it's over 100% more women are entering crypto right now than men. And the women that enter crypto recently are also not trading as much as men. It's like a 5-to-2 ratio as much as they trade. So women trade,
They're more hodlers by nature. You're thinking
exactly,
maybe. Yeah. Less risk averse. Yeah. More risk averse. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. A lot less risky with their trades, and I'm seeing that with my partner at home too, where she'll jump into something, she'll put her money in something. Oh, can it just compound over for me? Cool. I'll leave it there for a few months. Like, and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
right,
like
yeah.
what? I'm like, but what about if something happens? She's like, this seems like a smart play. You said it's a smart play. It's a long term one. I'm gonna go with this one. I'm like, oh my goodness. All right, cool. But that's what they're seeing across the board is these women will like make these trades, and if you're doing things like that, then you're a lot less likely to be a day trader. And
Yes.
so these women are just hodling, and it says that on average they're outperforming males in the market uh, by it said by 40 base points, but that equals about less than half of a percent each year. But again, in traditional finance, half of a percent, 0.4%, is a lot to to earn on your
Yeah.
holdings. And so yeah, these women are coming into the market. They're starting to come into the market more than males are coming into the market. And I believe partially because most males, when they come into the market, they want to make money and they want to make it quick, and then they get chased out of the market. And these women
Right.
come in and they hodl and they see better returns.
Interesting.
So yeah, that was the
I
first
mean,
thing.
yeah. I mean, that lines up. I mean, yeah. On account of just the markets in general, again, it's now times we're potentially going into the bear market, and now is just the best time ever to start these shows, as far as I'm concerned. You don't have to pay attention to the market as much if you are on the trading side of things. Anyone that's wanting to come in and not feel that pressure, this is going to be a perfect time to enter in and start learning. So I think the educational side of things is going to be huge in the next little while, however long we think this is going to, the run will last.
Right.
And I mean, Ethereum under 3 is that's a good buy as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned. So
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I don't know how long that's gonna last with Ethereum under 3. I feel like
yeah,
there's always that moment where there's an upgrade to that token or that ecosystem, and then
sure.
people like it's a buy the rumor sell the news situation. And so I do feel like Ethereum's gonna have a buy the rumor sell the news situation come June, and
About the
then
other fork, you think?
yeah, well, like it's just
Hmm.
the migration to proof of stake, not even the fork, because the fork were like kind of like
Yeah. Okay. Right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. Sorry.
No. No. No.
I'm
No.
not trying
Please correct me. No, the technicals matter.
yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, they're migrating to that proof of stake, and so I do think there's going to be a buy the rumor. A lot of people are going to maybe like start. Price might dip down a little bit, but then if it dips down too much right now, if it goes down to like 2,200 or something like that, something crazy. Oh yeah, people are just gonna be like hopping in because they're like,
Yeah.
the chances of it going up to 4,000 are pretty dang high. Before it migrates to proof of stake, and like for those that don't know, when a blockchain goes from proof of work to proof of stake, and proof of work, you need that mining equipment to produce Bitcoin itself. You validate the blocks and you get rewarded in Bitcoin. And so that's your way of that's the way that more Bitcoin or Ethereum is created from mining equipment. So those not hard drives, those graphics cards and the CPU usage.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Or ASIC miners, whatever have you. But when it moves to proof of stake, the only way to earn more Ethereum and to validate the network will be by buying up more Ethereum. The more Ethereum you have, the more Ethereum you will be able to produce. And so that's a total change, because right now people can produce a whole bunch of Ethereum and consistently sell it, or a whole bunch of Bitcoin and consistently sell it. They don't actually have to hold it. They can just get it and sell it. But in the future, very soon, they're going to need that Ethereum. You're going to need it to hold, and you need to hold the Ethereum. So Ethereum's going to become deflationary. You're going to need to hold it to produce Ethereum, and that's bullish for Ethereum. And I was saying before, like a lot of time when these type of changes happen, you see, a buy the rumor, sell the news event where and that just means that people will buy it up ahead of time, and then once that event happens, or the day or the few days around that event, people sell off because they're expecting, I'm gonna take my profits and I'll buy back in when it goes lower. And so I'm expecting that'll probably happen around this event too, because there's so much hype and demand around certain events. But yeah, that'll be really exciting to see with Ethereum specifically around something like this.
So how will that migration affect people that are strictly wanting to use it on the utility level and not invest in the actual ecosystem? Like, is it going to lower gas fees? Is that part of the?
It shouldn't actually lower gas fees, I don't believe.
No. Okay.
So yeah, as much as that would be really nice,
Yeah.
I don't think it's actually going to fix the gas fees. Like in anything, I haven't heard anybody talking about it's going to lower the gas fees. I have to do more significant research myself, to decipher what it is that makes it so that it's not really lowering the gas fees.
Interesting.
But
because that's like the major pushback, right? Especially in GameFi, you hear it a lot. Why are people going to Solana? Why is Hive like such a gem when it comes to building stuff on? Because of, fast transactions, low or no gas fees. So, and then that's specifically why people are, will spread FUD about stuff built on Ethereum. And so that would just, that's,
Yeah,
it's interesting to think that that's not necessarily something that I wasn't sure exactly if it was something that's, was
yeah,
addressed in that migration or not. So,
yeah. I
okay.
mean, I think the real catch with Ethereum, as far as gas fees and stuff will go, it will be the fact that there's still layer two solutions.
The
To
Polygon.
that block, yeah, Polygon for an example.
Hmm.
What you call it, Immutable X as an
Right.
example.
Yep.
And I was recently looking because I didn't know the specifics between like what truly defines a layer two from another layer one that is just more gas efficient.
Right.
And so like the true definition between the two is just that a layer two is still depending on that layer. It should become obvious, right? You kind of think it in the back of your head anyways, but the layer two is just dependent on that layer one totally. And it can actually be validating nodes on that layer one to operate the layer two blockchain.
Right.
So it's tied in with that other token actually, versus layer one that's its own blockchain doing its own thing on its own token that might just be more efficient at lower gas fees and validations, etc. And so with Ethereum, I've been saying this for it's like 2 years now. When I've had this concept, and it just keeps playing out more and more because I was seeing it when Ethereum was around $200 or so, and I was like, I think Ethereum's gonna break $1,000. Gas fees are gonna go high, and it's gonna start becoming like people are gonna start getting priced out of Ethereum. And it's just going to become like
Right.
it's like bankers, like like the wealthy are going to own Ethereum and be able to use Ethereum on the mainnet. And this was also at a time where I was seeing, because I was early on in DeFi on Ethereum and stuff, and I was seeing people were talking about these layer two solutions and these other blockchains where you could take your your tokens and move them over to another blockchain. And I was scratching my head at the time. I was like, why would I want to take my tokens off of Ethereum? I don't trust this thing. No, my tokens will stay on Ethereum.
Yeah.
And it took a year, and I'm like, nope, my tokens will be bridging
I see the light now.
layer
Okay.
two solution. Yeah,
I get
exactly.
it.
Yeah, you start to see it, and so I'm like, okay, so yeah, that's starting to really play out, and I think that'll continue to play out, not just in Ethereum, because that's a big one, but also on other blockchains. I think the other blockchain that I'm actually becoming more and more bullish on by the day, and I see why. I've seen Chico Crypto is an influencer that I follow. He's been really bullish on Avalanche or Avox for a long time, and I'm starting to see why. And I'm like, even though the transaction fees they're somewhat they're cheaper than Ethereum obviously on Avalanche, but they're not the cheapest ever when you look at the amount of crypto that it costs for a transaction on a smart contract or something.
Right.
Okay, that could actually if it becomes the price of Ethereum, that's gonna become a costly transaction. But the fact that Avalanche is, as they call it, the C chain, allows you to branch or create subnets on Avalanche of other cryptocurrencies, or of not of other cryptocurrencies, but of other blockchains. So you can have the Avalanche blockchain is the top level blockchain basically, and then you can create your own subnets on that, which are basically your own blockchains underneath Avalanche, and they're kind of so it's there's Avalanche as layer one, and then you can create layer twos underneath it pretty easily with a library of code that's already part of the ecosystem. And I think that's going to become huge. Just saw it, practice the first time with DeFi Kingdoms and the Crystal Veil. So DeFi Kingdoms is a play-to-earn game, which is very much in its infancy still. Where they're really
So how did that look with them? What easier? Were people on multiple blockchains able to be onboarded into the game? Is that kind of the? Okay.
Yeah. So it's because DeFi Kingdom started on the Harmony One blockchain, and that was just cheaper blockchain for transactions and stuff like that. Not a whole bunch of money on it as compared to some of these other blockchains, but working for that game and for what they wanted to do, so that you can do these transactions. And their stage ones of the game are to build up all that liquidity, and so that you can have this whole economy and stuff before they roll out PvP and everything else. They want it to be a whole world, open world, pixelated, with all this crazy stuff happening. So working over there, but then when they had this idea to migrate over to Avalanche for the longest, I originally thought, they're just going to be on Avalanche, C chain, and they're like, nope, we're making our own subnet, and it's going to be called Crystal Veil. And so what they did is on Harmony, when you were playing the game, you were farming out this jewel token, And so you
Okay.
create other liquidity pairs with more common tokens, and you farm out the Jewel token, their first token for DeFi Kingdoms. And you know, it's part of their whole like why the game wasn't so it's considered a game, but why it wasn't, why they're not focusing on the PvP and this and that, why they're really building up from the ground like a whole economy first. And you start to see it happen, and when you understand that. But they started this Jewel token. The Jewel token's got tons of liquidity now on Harmony. Then they migrated it over to Avalanche's C chain, where you could just start to you could have your Jewel token over on the C chain, but you couldn't really do much with it other than wait. And then came the day that they started Crystal Veil on Avalanche as a subnet on the C chain. And so now it's got its own chain called DFK chain. And on DFK chain, instead of using Avalanche for transaction fees, gas fees, you use the Jewel token, which they created on another blockchain, as its own gas and transaction fees. And so that's kind of like, and I'm like, that's kind of brilliant. It's like that's really special right there, because then that token, the main token Avalanche itself can grow to extreme heights. It can become a $50,000 token the way I see it. And as long as you're onboarding people directly to your subnet, your own blockchain, the game's blockchain, which is specific to a game right now, you got no problems. You don't care how the price of Avalanche can keep going up. It's doing its job. The network is definitely secure
because you're using that second party token to
and it's seen as one of the more it's seen as a more decentralized blockchain as compared to things like Polygon and Binance Smart
Solana.
Chain. Solana. Yeah, exactly. So it's a much more decentralized version of these ones, and some of the other ones that I mentioned are just layer 2s and not layer 1s, like Binance Smart Chain, for instance. But at the same time, you can just see the what's possible with Avalanche. I'm like, oh wow, okay, it could become really big.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was sitting while we were talking, I was showing everyone DeFi Kingdoms, and we were looking at the Avalanche price, 75 going up, or almost 75 and going up. Yeah, I've definitely heard good things about Avalanche, and have wanted to look into the technicals a little bit more. So, I mean, from what I'm hearing, essentially people who are earning, say, fight, or well, you wouldn't actually earn fight, you'd earn a secondary token. But let's say you either with that secondary token that you'll earn in Fight Legends, or with the Fight token itself, they'd in theory be able to go in there and spend that within the Avalanche ecosystem, because we would build our own kind of blockchain for the game there.
Yeah, you'd basically make that subnet underneath Avalanche, and instead of having to use Avalanche, or if it was on Ethereum, using Ethereum for gas fees, you make it so that people have to use your whatever one of the tokens you set up for that blockchain for those gas fees, and it just makes it you get.
Now, would it make sense to set up a third token for these, or would you use one that's already present in the tokenomics of the game?
I think you'd use one that's already present. I think DeFi Kingdoms is probably doing it the right way, where they build up. And the reason why I'm saying that, and I could be wrong, so go free to correct this, comment on this. But I think it's very smart the way they did it, because they focused on building out that ecosystem and that liquidity. Liquidity is important in blockchain, and stops people from just being able to if $5 million sells at a time or something like that, it stops the price from just crashing entirely. Exactly. And so the fact that they did that and focused on that before migrating over to just the Avalanche C chain or creating their own subnet, I think is really important. And then using that token instead of we created it on the C chain and now we're going to use the Crystal token as our gas, where there's not a lot of liquidity, where all the liquidity is brand new. I don't think that would have worked out as well.
Interesting. All right. Well, I got a lot to learn in that space when it comes to all those sort of things. So, there's always tons to learn. And then once you get so deep into a job or a role, that's where you start learning about everything. So GameFi has been kind of central to everything, but there's always so much to learn even in that realm. So absolutely. What else, man, is on your radar here? We got time for at least one or two more, maybe.
Yeah. What else is on the radar is so more toward the blockchain gaming thing, so we don't leave blockchain gaming all the way out of it. One, a game called Shrapnel is starting on Avalanche blockchain soon, so it's considered a blockbuster game on the Avalanche blockchain. It's not out yet, but they just did their first token sales, I believe, And so yeah, $7 million token sale for this Shrapnel game. It looks like a first-person shooter game where they want people to have their own level of creativity as far as like being able to build things. It's almost like how Sandbox gives you the tools to create things for the sandbox. They want to do this for the Shrapnel game, which would look a lot more like a AAA game, though it doesn't look all voxel type of animation. This looks like a traditional AAA first-person shooter game, and that's going to be on its own subnet on Avalanche as well. So just bringing that up, as I think that like might be a really cool one to pay attention to. Other things, just like as a quick article, and like this was a quick article read anyways. There wasn't a whole bunch of information on it, but Fortnite, Epic Games,
I heard about
acquires $2 billion in a metaverse play from, and I think I'm like this puts on my conspiracy theory hat. But they require $2 billion in a metaverse play from one of the brands was Sony, and I forget the other brand without reading the article, but one of the brands was Sony. And they both like offered over $1 billion. What was that? You know the brand?
No, I don't want to put it out there and have it not be the right one.
That's what it was. It was the people behind Lego.
Lego.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
see, I was wrong.
It was like Caribe brand or something like that. So it's not like the Lego brand itself, but it was the
I know what you're talking. Yeah.
Company.
Mm-hmm.
And so so those two put up $1 billion each, and then I guess Sony had actually given them $400 million previously, like over the summer, to Fortnite. And what just got my metaverse cogs thinking, like, number one, the last time that I logged into Fortnite, because people have been making a bit of a return to it since they got rid of building for a while. I don't know how long it's going to be. But I was like, wow, they really have started to build out a metaverse where you can do a lot more in Fortnite. There was always two different game modes to it, where one was like more like zombie horde mode, and the other one was the first-person shooter that really gave the game all the attention that it currently has. But now they have modes where you can like do racing, or you can just do like
what are you racing?
Cars.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
okay.
You can get in cars. You can get in cars. So
okay.
You're racing cars. There's like almost like a Second Life type of atmosphere to it, where you're hanging out and like building building your own homes and stuff like that. Just a whole bunch of different modes to the game. Where I'm like, wow, they're actually like really building out this thing. And that started to give me like the cog of like, okay, like this is really starting to feel like more of like a metaverse, but you still can't sell your assets and stuff like that. So that's a shame. That's a shame that they got all this money coming in and they're the only ones that are going to be benefiting from it. But with this with all this money coming in and they're talking about the metaverse, I imagine they're starting to plan for the ability for people to actually sell some of their skins. And even when I jumped back in, my friends were like, "Oh, dude, that skin you have is super dope." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's from like the earlier seasons of Fortnite." I was playing super early.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Man, yeah, I haven't seen that one." And I'm like,
"You can't get those anymore. They take them off." Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
interesting.
So they were like, "Yeah, that's pretty dope." But yeah, that got my brain thinking, and then it also just like made me think about because of the Sony part of this. That Sony also recently, a few months ago now. But they made a deal with the Tron blockchain.
Okay.
And I'm like, Sony, who is
making moves,
partnered with the Tron blockchain, just gave over $1 billion in total to Fortnite. Is Fortnite going to end up on the Tron? So the Tron blockchain has the Tron. We talked about it in the last episode. The Tron blockchain amongst big traders in Wales is popular because it has the most liquidity in terms of stable coins.
Mm-hmm.
Stable coins are good for games, obviously. I'm like, is there a possibility that Fortnite could end up doing trades? That's the conspiracy theory hat.
Yeah,
like,
that's I can imagine if you're on the Fortnite team, you're wondering what's gonna come about the attempted. If we're looking at the American government at least, looking to maybe what's the word I'm looking for? They're looking into staking of stable coins. Is that correct? So is that something that would slow down their kind of jumping into a project like this?
Maybe slow them down a little bit, but if anything, I feel like it's one of the more safe routes for a game to go with the stable coins because of their the testimonials and stuff like that they had in front of Congress or whatever that specific board was called from Congress. But
sure.
That, and then like the fact that the U.S. is really pushing for regulation on stable coins, which is like a lot of people that are into things like Zcash or Monero, these privacy coins are probably not so much about that. But everybody else, like we were just talking about a conversation about taxes beforehand.
Right.
I want that regulation to a certain point so I can feel more comfortable like doing certain things, and businesses want that in general, so you can feel more comfortable bringing your business over to it. And so if stablecoins are going to be the first part of cryptocurrency to truly be regulated, then that's the first, that's more power to jumping into that sector and things. It's less scary for a business to actually want to jump into.
Do you remember? Sorry to interrupt,
No,
but
go ahead.
Do you remember? Do you happen to know off the top of your head the number one holder of Bitcoin? It just shaped. It just a new project just took it over, and I can't remember what they're
Oh,
called.
Terra, probably.
No, I don't think it was.
Maybe.
No, I don't know. But anyways, they had mentioned this is going to be half-assed because of not us not knowing that. But they had mentioned that they're actually going to halt by the end of April staking,
Hmm.
and so you have up till then, and then anyone that signs up will be and puts money into it will actually be entered into a special new account that has no staking rewards. So,
Wow.
and that had something to do with a regulatory pressure, and
Yeah.
they were like being one of the largest holders of liquid Bitcoin from what the sounds of this article. They were going after them. Obviously, they're going after the the
Yeah, the
biggest
more
project.
stable,
So,
the more
hmm
centralized places. I forget
hmm
what's the one place that's like centralized where people love to stake their stable coins and Bitcoin and stuff. That's probably the one that you're referring to, but I can't
yeah,
think of
I
it
know.
right
I
now. I
wrote
think
it.
they're
I
like based in
swore
New
I wrote it
Jersey.
down somewhere too, but I
But
don't for the show notes. But apparently not.
yeah, but I'm sure that's probably the one you're thinking. I was thinking of Terra because they're massive Bitcoin acquisitions lately, which is becoming like the place where if you have stable coins, you probably want to be staking them over on Terra, the Terra blockchain, and they just increased their bridges to all these other blockchains as well. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you guys are really becoming the go-to,
Right.
and backing everything with Bitcoin, which is funny because I just saw this piece from Elizabeth Warren, where she was like, the United States government promises that if you have this United States dollars, it'll be backed with something. And I'm like, what
Right.
is it? What is it backed with, Elizabeth? I really want to know because other than
Hopes and dreams.
seriously though, I'm like, you can say like because like we we just don't. It's not really back with the things that it used to. It used to be
No.
back with gold. It's not back with gold. You could say it's called the petrodollar, but it's obviously not just back with like straight up oil because it's not to the extent that we actually have the money. Otherwise, that wouldn't be an issue. Like, what is it actually back with, Elizabeth? And like the answer, like to some degree, is probably debt. Like backed with a whole bunch of debt, leverage debt at
Chinese
that,
debt, yeah.
like 10x leverage debt. That's not really a good promise. The promise is that you'll raise the debt ceiling and print out more dollars, and that it'll take another year or so before people actually suffer from that raise. And like that's not a good promise. Like, but sure,
No.
sure, Bitcoin is thin air, Elizabeth. Um, oh
Oh
my
man.
goodness.
All right. Well, as we shift gears here to our last story, I'm gonna unless you have do you have one more you want to throw in
Yeah,
before we hit up Seattle NFT Museum?
yeah.
Okay.
Last, I'll throw in these last ones real quick.
Sure.
Which is that one, because we just played this game, Rev Racing. So
Ooh.
the brand
Okay.
behind Rev Racing is Animoca, and I told you they were like already doing deals with like some big companies like MotoGP and stuff like that. And so recently they actually acquired. Let me get the actual name of this game developer, Eden Games. And so Eden Games is behind some popular racing games such as Gear, Club, or Gear Club, F1 Mobile, and Need for Speed, which is those are some very popular games, especially if you're on
Yep.
PlayStation. So also I'm like maybe they'll probably be working with Sony pretty soon here. I don't know, maybe, but they just acquired that studio, so that's really big. On the board, we just talked about Board Ape and the coins, Ape coins. So ApeCoin and Ethereum are now available to use as currency for purchasing burgers and fries at the
Right.
new Board 8 Yacht Club themed burger joint, Bored and Hungry. So it's in California. So that was
That's
pretty
brilliant,
funny.
man. Yeah.
And then the last thing that I'll throw in is just the NBA recently. So they have a chief crypto advisor or whatever, and they recently registered 4 new domains with .eth for the NBA. So NBA definitely jumping. We already had Top Shots, but NBA is definitely jumping into the crypto space. And also I've mentioned a few times on the show, I believe that Mark Cuban is already said a few times that the Mavericks plan on coming out with NFTs during this next basketball season
Oh yeah.
for tickets and memorabilia. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm waiting until I don't know. It's probably been a couple, but I'm waiting until we see more of them coming on like Shark Tank.
Oh yeah, dude. Kevin O'Leary seems so like if you got to listen to
Uh
him
huh.
at the Bitcoin conference this weekend, he seems so
Ooh.
ridiculously bullish on Bitcoin. Where he was just talking about, especially like you mentioned something about like the environmental side of things, and he
Mm-hmm.
specifically on the environmental side of things because there's like these green credits and stuff, which a lot of billionaires have been using, and also like companies try to use them to claim that they're carbon neutral, after doing damage to the to the world for a bunch of years, and they just use their billions of dollars to buy up a whole bunch of, well, we're gonna do this and that makes us carbon neutral, and I'm like, okay, but are you actually cutting back on your energy consumption at all? You're not.
No.
And the things that you're doing, like, yes, it's nice that you're planting some trees, but then you have to like manage that, and then you're also using a bunch of energy to do that and can move those around. So sure, the government gives you those credits, and so you can say it because it's written into law. But as we all know, law can be very fallible. Um, so my thoughts on that. But yeah, Kevin O'Leary was mentioning that a lot of renewable energy, and that we have all this excess of renewable energy in different states in the United States specifically,
Mm-hmm.
that'll finally, as we move forward with this Bitcoin evolution, can finally actually be utilized to like not only produce more income for these different states and cities, but also just the fact that we have all this excess energy, which is part of like the there's and he's talking about hydro specifically, but there's excess
Right.
gas energy and stuff like that. If you've ever driven by a refinery and you've seen like the fire being shot into the air, and there's the plumes
Oh
of
yeah.
smoke and stuff like that, that's
Yep.
excess energy that they're burning off, guys, and it's not helping the environment when they're shooting it into the air like
Yeah. If
that.
you go up north here to some of the tribal lands, and yeah, you see a lot of that from the refineries. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and like Bitcoin has found out a way to like actually take that energy and start to consume it like on the
Hmm.
spot, and so it's just like a better use of it. But we have to actually use up that energy,
Yeah.
and refine it a little bit more.
I saw one the other day that was a guy had a mining operation and was using thermodynamics to heat his swimming pool,
Ooh,
and that could be used on so many levels, on city levels and private level as well. So yeah,
that's
that
pretty
sort of
cool.
thing. Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. All right, cool. Well, yeah, let's last thing we'll talk about here, and this has to do with the future of Web3 Throwdown. As I said towards the beginning of the show, I really want to cover like some different verticals of different niches of use cases of blockchain technology, and then always be covering like just the overall world of everything. But there's so many specific things that you don't cover when you're covering just day to day news that kind of get glossed over, especially if you're new to Web3. And so that's kind of the angle I'm coming with for at least the first like month of shows or so, and that'll include special guests that are also kind of keen to the Web3 lifestyle and and are interested in learning more and talking about it every week. So we'll be bringing on other special guests, and that'll be cool. So last thing I wanted to do is talk about one of the future shows, which will be about, again, as we've been speaking about renewable energy and climate change and that sort of aspect of NFT projects. And so that's going to be the new gallery at the Seattle NFT Museum, which is a cool new business that's opened up in the city near us. And so we're looking to get down there as Fight Legend representatives and Money Match Gaming representatives, and check out the and network and all that. And so we're gonna love to cover each. I think they're doing it monthly, and I think I'm going to plan on covering each of their galleries monthly, looking at the different artists and projects that will be recognized there, and maybe even having them on, talking to them, building up to the official release and opening night. So that'll be real fun to do. And so I think the first one for the actual um, and actually let me hit the event here so we can show everyone. I think the first one is this actually Saturday, so hopefully we can make it to that one. And I just wanted to touch upon a little bit of that uh, opening night climate conversation. Of course, all the proceeds are going to keeping it open. It's pretty new. Actually, caught a little flack from what I remember when it first opened because a lot of fudders in the area not really getting it, so that was kind of ridiculous. But I'm very excited to get in there and check it out. How about you, Smurf?
Oh yeah, I'm excited to get in there, check it out. Shame on you, fudders. Don't see you throwing bricks at traditional museums that actually just stole art from around the world in
Oh
many
shit!
cases.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. Shots fired. It's just the truth. It's just the
Yeah.
truth.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just encourage the actual theft of actual art from people instead of speaking to these artists and bringing them about. So
they don't talk about that in the news, though.
no, they don't
so
want to talk
you
about
wouldn't...
that.
So they wouldn't know. They wouldn't know. That's all they listen. So this is gonna be awesome. It says this exhibition will highlight the climate conversation with NFTs. The impact of blockchain transactions on climate change is a common concern of the creation and purchasing of NFTs. This exhibit brings the climate conversation to center stage, displaying works that challenge trends and explore emerging technologies to solve mass energy consumption. Attending this opening night event will get a first look at the pieces and meet the artists and collectors included in the exhibition. So yeah, we'd love to start working with them in some way. So I'm definitely going to be reaching out to the owners over there to see what they've got going marketing wise, and if they have the budget for that sort of thing. And if not just that, then just a partnership with, Fight Legends Media as we cover their stuff regularly on Web3 Throwdown. So yeah, that'll be very cool, and looking forward to talking with them more.
Yeah, exciting times.
Yeah. And okay, well, what do we got going on over on your end with Money Match Gaming for the rest of the week, Smurf?
So the rest of the week, we got a pretty chill week. We just came off of our first Gods Unchained tournament. As I was saying at the beginning, we added our first Gods Unchained player specifically. So now we got about 4 or 5 players on Money Match Gaming that actually regularly play Gods Unchained and compete. But that's our second player at the Mythic level, the highest level of Gods Unchained, to join our team. So breaking our way in there. And one of our players has broken into the top 100 Gods Unchained players before. Does his work. So proud to see that we got a team that's actually competing in the Web3 and blockchain gaming space. Again, a pretty chill week though. No events scheduled, so I'll be doing some impromptu. We always have giveaways whenever I play Gods Unchained, but doing some impromptu events and working a little bit more on our founders' NFTs. So if you're into traditional games, Smash Bros, I'll probably be doing some type of impromptu Smash Bros events. Where I might just make them straight up crypto prizes this time though. I've really been leaning a lot more into the crypto side of things, the blockchain space. We really want to be that bridge between traditional gaming and blockchain gaming, and also the blockchain side of things has just been that much kinder to us.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, that's the future. We're just building. We're just trying to keep ourselves open to Web 2, but really, it's like, come on, we're moving everyone along into the Web 3 as quickly as possible, but as nicely as possible. Let's put it that way. Either you want to go and just tell people to wake the fuck up, but they don't respond, right? You got to be like, listen, okay, I know what you heard, and you got to trust me. Like, I'm bringing someone on who's like, oh, I've wanted a reason to buy an NFT, and I'm like, okay, man, we got to meet up for beers, and I'll just walk you through the steps, right? That's the move. Like, I thought about doing it online. I'm like, that would work. He's open to it, but I'm like, it's gonna be even better if I'm there and we're doing it, and I'm like walking him through it, on his phone or something like that. So I think that's the move. Yeah, one at a time. If we all do one a month.
Yeah. Do your part.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. All right. Well, thank you again so much. Everyone, watch this space next week for special guests. I think we're going to get Sid, who is a Web3 marketer across all sorts of different projects, including Inferno, which is a really cool GameFi project. We're going to have him on. We're going to be talking the climate change. I think that's what we'll do. So I'll head up this Saturday, and then kind of do like a review, and we'll check out some of the projects that were there, and we'll go from there. And then I think in the future, we'll try and do shows before the release of the exhibits. But yeah, this one will be kind of like a review of the exhibit, and we'll check out all those projects and more. And so everyone do their homework, and we'll see you next week on Web3 Throwdown.
Cheers.
Boom. All right. Well, that one was good.
Yeah, that was good.
I was like just typing stuff in and searching it as you go.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah, I should drop some of these. Like again, I found a lot of these late.
I got all of them except for the last one because I was on the burger joint when you started going into the other things. So.
Oh yeah, I'm like, man, kind of wonder if it's good.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
You know what I was wondering?
We should make a trip. We should do a whole episode.
Dude,
we go from almost like a Harold and Kumar. We go to bar
road trip to the bro. That's not even a bad idea. I am
good.
Literally putting it on the idea list. That's not bad at all. Little vlog.
Yeah, yeah,
that'd get traction for sure.
definitely. Yeah, stop along the way, ask people questions like, would you like cash or crypto? Like, just do the whole thing.
Yeah, I love it. All right, that's going in the idea box for sure. That's on there. All right, let's see. Okay, I'll stop stream. Yeah, so I wish you could see what I was sharing, and I know, like I said, they did a plugin, so I'm going to be working on this. And I don't know quite how it would work because I would still need it in here as another guest because I don't want you to just see just what I'm sharing,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want you to see yourself. I want you to see both. I want you just to see me like just right now, plus just this sharing screen.
Okay. Would
So,
you do you want to do like a practice thing or something like that? It could not even be stream, or you try out the restream. Have you tried out the restream thing?
what do you mean? What about what from Restream?
Like their little podcasting setup thing.
Elaborate. I'm sorry.
They have like a whole podcasting setup on Restream.io, which is like their own like little browser-based studio thing, kind of like a StreamYard type of setup and whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like
No.
in Money Match Game, we just pay for it anyways. We don't really use it, so I was like, I think I mentioned before we could use that. Yeah, but if you want to do like a test run of it, sometimes it doesn't have to be streamed. You could just get you in there and do that thing. Like, so we can do that whenever, honestly.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's test that out. At
Um,
some point, yeah.
Cause it's pretty nice. Like, the only thing that I would say with it is I don't know how strong it is for like actually playing games with it. When I tried to play, well, it was probably also I was playing a computer-based game. But if you're playing a computer-based game on that same computer, it might slow things down. It just made the game itself a little laggy. So I'd
Right.
probably have the game on a different computer and like port the
Sure.
view over or something like that. Something a little tricky. But that was the only issue that I ran up with it. Otherwise, it was really smooth at transitioning multiple people, having
Right.
a share screen, grabbing comments if you wanted to highlight a comment from chat or something like that.
Oh, that's right. It does all that. That's true. Yeah, I'm sure they'll Fight Legends will be open to paying for it once we get more funding.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have that on my list of stuff like I could really smooth stuff out if I could just go through them for more of the stuff because I remember like their lower thirds was really smooth and easy to use, but that's also stuff in here too. I just need to take the time to learn it in OBS.
Mm-hmm.
You know how OBS is, just takes a little bit longer.
Yeah, you just gotta figure it out.
Yeah, because I was mostly just adding it for production value so that because I'm gonna have you, me, our guest, and then I'm going to be talking about all this shit, and it's better if you can see it so that you're talking along with it, right? Because you'd moved on, but if you'd saw I was on the burger thing,
Oh yeah.
you know what I mean? And then it would have been just natural instead of me trying to catch up the whole time,
Right.
which is fine, but it's not the most efficient production strategy. So as you know. So yeah, that's just for future I still want to be able to test it because I think
we can do it like whatever, honestly. Like,
yeah, so I'm gonna install this plugin, do some research, and then I'll let you know. I'll hit you up and we'll see.
Cool.
Okay.
Because it's just like a matter of like sharing links and stuff like that with the OBS thing. It's like, oh, here's your link to join the thing. Kind of like inviting somebody to a Zoom call where you don't need to download anything. You just pop right in.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Cool, man. I'll let you go. Thanks again, and I will talk to you later.
Alrighty. See you later.
All right. Bye.
All right, folks. Are you talking about DeFi Kingdoms? Yes. You into Web3? I'm definitely very much into Web3. Sorry that I didn't get to answer your questions and stuff like that ahead of time. Anybody on TikTok? I am deep into Web3, crypto, blockchain, DeFi, all the things. I was having a podcast with my buddy Shawn of Fight Legends, and I'm answering people on TikTok right now. Yeah, and they have this show. It's called GameFi Throwdown, and he recently switched to Web3 Throwdown, where we just talk about all things Web3, blockchain gaming, etc. So this is another episode. For those watching on Money Match Gaming's end on YouTube or Twitch or Twitter right now, I know it's a low graphic stream thing. Trying to figure out how I can better obtain for this. Make it that much better. But I want to make sure that he has my camera the way that he needs it. So that's why I usually do it this way, where it's very low graphics, but you can hear us both, and we cover the important things, which is all the information. So yeah, hopefully it was fun for anybody watching. Informational, educational, entertaining, all that good stuff. Again, not a financial advisor. It's not financial advice. We don't talk about anything like that here, but we do have a good time. So there's that. Now I am going to end today's stream, and I got to decide whether or not I want to go with AAA gaming, jump on the Xbox. And I was really enjoying Overwatch yesterday until the games got really slow. So I might actually jump back on Overwatch, and Overwatch and Blender it. We'll do Overwatch and designs, and then prep for a Wednesday of different types. Maybe Wednesday would be like all King of the Hill events or something like that. We can do like what do you call it? Smash Bros. And I don't really care for the Halo King of the Hill recently like that. I don't have anybody to play with normally. It's like if I play it, I'm going to be playing it by myself. I just have not been super motivated to do it lately. But Smash Bros. And maybe check out some Axie Origins tomorrow. I wanted to make sure I get that in. Some what's the game called? Gods Unchained, that type of stuff. But we'll be having some fun. It'll all be fun. Hopefully. And it's kind of subjective, right? I think it'll all be fun. Let me turn back on my Chrome key filter. Yeah. So, anybody who joined us today, thank you for joining us so far. I'm going to transition us out. We'll see you in the next one. And, stay frosty.